Ms. Dawson, you tested positive for THC, which I think you anticipated, but you also tested positive for ecstasy or...
Sometimes in a courtroom, the tension shows up before anything dramatic even happens. The judge hasn't ruled on anything yet. The case hasn't even really started. But one simple question completely changes the energy in the room. When a judge asks someone directly if they're going to test positive for drugs, that's not a casual question. It usually means the court already suspects something. And in this case, the defendant had already pleaded guilty to a very serious charge, abandoning or endangering a child. So before the hearing can even move forward, the judge decides to check something first. And that decision is about to reveal a lot more than anyone expected.
Good morning. Are you Shalora Dawson? And Ms. Dawson was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the state jail felony offense of abandoning or endangering a child. Received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Dawson, if I test you this morning, you can have anything in your system?
Oh, no, ma'am. I did.
We're going to double check this morning before we go forward. Have a seat in the jury box.
On my thing, told me to tell she told me to tell the truth.
Yes.
I bought her the dispensaries and everything, but she said that she was THC.
Right. So did they tell you probably shouldn't be doing that so you don't test positive? So I don't think you're using something illegal?
No, because it wasn't me smoking. It was something like a gummy that was supposed to help relaxing.
Right. But if it's going to test positive, then I'm going to assume the word.
This is the exact moment the entire hearing shifts. The defendant expected the THC result. She even hinted at it earlier, saying she had taken a gummy. But the MDMA result, that's where the shock comes in. MDMA, also known as ecstasy, is a completely different level of drug than what she was trying to explain. And you can immediately hear the panic in her voice. Suddenly, the conversation stops being about a routine court appearance and starts turning into damage control.
So we'll get to that in a minute. I want to test you this morning and see what's in your system, then we'll go forward in a minute. Have a seat over there in that jury box. Ms. Dawson, you tested positive for THC, which I think you anticipated, but you also tested positive for ecstasy or MDMA.
Wait. He just said it was a steroid, though. And I got a shot. I went to the hospital. I had a bad UTI. It was bad to the point where they had to give me a shot in my butt. They told me to get in my butt, right here. I told her I wanted to get it in my butt.
When was that?
Just last week. But MDMA, like, what is ecstasy?
All right, here's what we're going to do.
No, I don't like that. Like, this making me look bad. This is making me look bad.
Well, listen, Miss Dawson, listen.
I don't like
There's worse things in here that are making you look bad than testing positive for that. Just listen. All right, you're going to get your probation. I'm going to do that today, but there's going to be some conditions so that I make sure that you're not using anything that you're not supposed to, including gummies or anything that you think, whatever it is.
What's interesting here is how quickly the judge tries to bring the situation back under control. The defendant clearly feels embarrassed and defensive. She keeps repeating that she's not a drug abuser, that something must have caused the result. But the judge isn't actually focused on arguing about the test result. Instead, the judge is focused on something much bigger, something far more serious. The reason this woman is standing in court in the first place.
And can I tell you this? I'm not an abuser. Last year I was just working for the state of Texas. I'm not an abuser at all. I don't.
Listen.
I just want to know.
We're going to find out. Then you're not going to have trouble.
That's making me look bad.
Listen, Miss Dawson, just pay attention to me for a minute, okay? You're okay, all right? Anything that makes you look bad or that you feel like isn't true, all you have to do, you're going to be on probation, is be successful on probation, and that's all we all want, okay?
No,
so listen, you already told me, you've already said it, okay? I understand that you're not sure what this is. Maybe it's from the shot. It's okay, all right? We're going to make sure from this point forward that you don't have any issues. You'll have certain rules on probation to follow, and then there won't be any issues, right?
Yes, but
Okay.
I wasn't talking about that. I was just trying to express you, which I know you did say I was going to have my time to talk. I just want you to know I'm not an abuser.
Okay, you said
I
that.
don't abuse
Okay,
drugs. Like, I just.
you said that. You've already said it.
I told you.
But listen, the most important thing is that you figure out how to get your life together for your child. That's what we're really here about today. That you make better decisions than leaving a 2-year-old in a hotel by themselves. That's what I'm worried about. Do you understand? Not a THC gummy, not whatever other thing that happened today. I want you to get your life together. You're young. You have had issues. I see what's going on with your family in here. But we want to break whatever cycle that you've been a part of so that you can be there for your child. Does that make sense?
And this is the moment where the judge resets the entire conversation. Because while everyone is arguing about gummies, drug tests, and medical shots, there's a much darker issue sitting in the background of this case. A 2-year-old child who was left alone in a hotel. And in the judge's eyes, that's the decision that truly matters here. Not the excuses, not the confusion, but the responsibility of being a parent.
Okay, that's what we want. The best for you, the best for your child. For you to be able to make those better decisions. All right? So I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty previously, freely, and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney. I'm going to defer all proceedings, place you on probation for 3 years. You're ordered to pay the $300 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. That is going to include being assessed for any special needs that you need, any counseling, whatever it is you need, we're going to have you assessed for that. And if they say you need to go to a counselor or you need it, whatever it is, those are things to help you, and you're going to be required to do them. Do you understand? And you'll obviously be required to test regularly. So any type of gummy, any type of anything, doesn't matter if they say in the shop it won't test positive, don't do any of them. Because even if you go buy it legally, I can't know the difference. It's just going to show up on a test. So don't do any of that. If you need some help with something making you feel better, then go through that counseling and do it the right way through a doctor. Okay?
That's what I was going to tell you. Like, I've been on a medicine that
Good.
like spinal top.
Good.
I just don't like feeling like dead inside when taking it. Like,
I know. And I know there's certain medicines and they don't make you feel
that's
great.
my only thing. I just
But you can't.
disconnected from being a parent.
Right. Well, talk to them about that because there's probably other medicines that they can try.
Yeah,
Okay. But what you don't want to do is stop taking that medicine and then self-medicate with a gummy or something like that. Okay. That's what you can't do. So continue talking to them. Say, I don't like the way this one makes me feel. Let's try something different. And they'll find something that eventually makes you feel right, kind of in a balance. Okay. If you do everything you're supposed to while you're on this program.
Now here's the part that surprises a lot of people watching cases like this. Even after everything that just happened, the drug test, the arguments, the tension, the judge still chooses probation instead of prison. And that decision says something important. Because probation isn't just a punishment. In many cases, it's the court giving someone one final chance to prove they can change their life. But it also comes with a warning. Because if that chance is wasted, the consequences become much more severe.
This is an excellent opportunity. You don't have criminal history. You're not going to be a convicted felon. If you successfully complete it, the case gets dismissed at the end. You're going to get to be a mom. You're going to get regular jobs, do all the things that everybody else does, okay? The other side of that is if you violate any condition of probation. So if you don't show up for appointments, you test positive, you get arrested or whatever, you can be brought back in here and you can be found guilty, so you would be a convicted felon, and then you could go to the state jail prison for up to 2 years. Do you understand? All right. You just need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation's going to call you up when she's ready to go over your paperwork. Okay?
And I do want to apologize for me over talking. That's not my character.
That's okay. You're nervous. I know you're nervous. I know. We're good. All right. Good luck to you, ma'am. Oh, here's the, hold on. I didn't hand this. It's a trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, so you've waived your right to appeal. So just have a seat here in the courtroom and wait for her to call you up. All right, Ms. Clayton tested negative, which is obviously good, and,
No 5-hour energies.
yeah, you never know about those energies.
Stay away from
Ms. Clayton, in cause number 25, DCCR 0446, you were previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. I have received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
defense agent. Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Nothing defense.
Not from the state, Your Honor.
What is everyone's position with regard to the recommendation in the pre-sentence report with regard to her addiction issues? The recommendation is ISF followed by JCDI program.
Again, from the defense, Your Honor, the treatment is a continuum, I suppose, and since she's demonstrated, at least today, that she's drug-free, then I would suggest the court holding ISF in advance to just see how she progresses on probation. Maybe perhaps with a drop program.
Well, she's going to go through JCDI for sure,
Or JCDI.
if at a minimum. Mr. Nichols, thoughts since
I
she
would ask at
tested
least for
negative?
JCDI, Your Honor. She's still underage, but she has a drinking problem and needs to get that dealt with, treated, or under control. And she also smokes marijuana regularly. Facts on this case, she and her friend were heavily intoxicated,
Yeah.
fled from police, lucky it wasn't a
Could've been
crash,
It could have been terrible.
tried to hide out from police around
Yeah,
a.
I know, yeah.
And it could have been a lot worse. And I'll just tell the court from reviewing the video, at least that night, they sure thought it was hilarious. She needs to grow up. She needs to take a little more serious what's getting her here in felony court.
Yeah.
And
You understand it's not funny. I mean,
I'm never gonna get
no, I understand that right now, and people do
But
that.
that night, yeah, I do regret everything that night.
So here's the thing, and the seriousness of this is that if you don't do what you're supposed to and get your life on the right track, which is what everyone wants. You're young. We want you to be successful. You're going to get a probation today where you don't have a felony conviction on your record. And if you complete that probation, you're never going to be a convicted felon. But if you violate and you don't take advantage of the programs that we're going to give you, it's going to be difficult because you're at an age where all your friends are going to be doing things that you're not going to be able to do. But the alternative is prison for up to 10 years. So you need to think about that every time somebody says, oh, just come on out with us and do whatever. And your answer is going to be, I'll do that in a few years when I'm not on probation, right? Because I don't want to go to prison for 10 years. So I am going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney and defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 3 years. You're ordered to pay the $250 fine. I am going to order that you enter and successfully complete the ISF substance abuse track, but I'm going to hold that in abeyance. That is an inpatient 90-day program. So if you get in, you're going to be required to go to JCDI and complete that program. And it'll give you the tools, hopefully, that you need to stay sober. If that's not enough and you need something more, it's already ordered. A warrant will go out for your arrest. You'll go into custody and you'll go straight to that program, okay? I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed. So you have waived your right to appeal. You just need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation will call you up when she's ready to go over your paperwork. Good luck to you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Harris, this is 24 DCCR 2254. You tested positive this morning for methamphetamines and amphetamines.
I drink a lot of 5-hour powers for 3 days, and that's the only thing I think that would make a problem. I've been in Houston with my kids, and I ain't even been around here right now. And I drink a lot of 5-hour powers regularly.
5-hour powers is not going to test positive for methamphetamine.
You know, if you send it off to the lab, I'm sure you'll see that it's not, I don't do nothing like that. I don't even have the money for that.
Well, all I know is you tested positive for methamphetamine. And obviously there's some concern because you were arrested while this case was pending. And Mr. Coleman figured that out. Hold on.
It was a traffic ticket.
Just hold on.
I would just observe this, if it's paraphernalia, that's a class C and normally those aren't arrestable. I mean, it is an arrestable offense, but normally it's just a ticket. So jail, fine only offense.
Doesn't matter. If you're on bond, if you're on for a felony, you should. I just asked you not to say anything else right now, okay? I'm just checking on something.
Let her check it.
obviously Google and AI is not the end-all be-all, but it is unlikely to cause a positive result on a standard drug test. A 5-hour energy drink does not contain prohibited substance like THC, opiates, or amphetamines. Extremely rare and undetected issues involving cross-contamination during manufacturing would do it, so I don't think that's what we're worried about today. I'm going to grant the state's motion to raise your bond based on the fact that you tested positive, based on the fact that there was an additional arrest while you were on bond for a felony offense. I'm raising your bond in your case. It's currently set at $30,000. I'm going to raise your bond to $70,000. I'm going to order, as a condition of that bond, that you have a drug patch at all times, that you get it changed out as you're supposed to. Your case is still set for trial to begin with jury selection on Monday, and is everybody ready for that?
Yes, Fred.
All right, I'll number the case. If you're in custody, we'll have you brought over for trial. If you're not, then you can talk to Mr. Kimler this morning, okay? All right, you can go back with the bailiff. Mr. Garcia, you tested positive for marijuana, amphetamines, methamphetamines, and ecstasy. Did you drive here? Oh, you're surprised about the ecstasy?
Yeah, I'm surprised about that.
Wow.
I did smoking, I did relapse a few days ago.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to find, obviously, that that is a violation of your bond conditions. I also told you last week specifically that you had to be here on time. No, you were not here. And so I'm going to raise your bond in your case to $100,000. If you make that bond a condition of it, you have a drug patch on at all times, that you also have a GPS monitoring device and remain in Jefferson County, since you can't seem to get here on time. We'll figure that out. Talk to your attorney. You can go back with the bailiff.
By the end of the hearing, the tone in the courtroom has completely shifted. What started as a tense confrontation ends with something closer to a warning, and maybe even a little bit of compassion. The judge makes it clear, the drugs, the test results, the excuses, none of that matters as much as what happens next. The real test is whether she can take this opportunity and actually rebuild her life. Because if she succeeds, this case disappears. But if she fails, the next time she walks into this courtroom, the outcome could be very different.